The human trafficking hotline has received over 2,000 signals from Nebraska since its inception and identified nearly 700 cases. Recognizing there's a need of awareness in the state, a nonprofit organization identifies ways to end human trafficking in Nebraska through its regular meetings. Local 4's Jartavius Edmond attended today's and has the story.
Nebraska is so lucky to have law enforcement and judicial systems that are prepared to investigate and prosecute trafficking. But we know that we can't arrest ourselves out of this issue.
Grand Island Area Coalition on Trafficking, an organization formed in 2018, held its annual meeting to discuss, plan education and events to ultimately raise awareness about human trafficking in the Heartland. July's meeting marks the completion for the first round of their Hotels and Motels initiative to combat human trafficking in Grand Island and Hastings, with the second round scheduled for Friday, July 18th. Also with the Nebraska State Fair approaching, Amber Harper, chair of Grand Island Coalition on Trafficking, provided information about another upcoming event.
Shine a Light is an annual event GIACT has held since 2018. Our intention is really just to bring awareness to the patrons that are attending the state fair.
Adding, the event is not to scare the community from going to the state fair, but when there's an increase in people to an area, they have money to spend, and some might buy sex, which is why GIACT is comprised of law enforcement.
Our troopers and investigators are both actively engaged.
Our role is to learn about the ways we can combat human trafficking, says Lieutenant Brent Boxstetter of Nebraska State Patrol.
Troopers are actively trying to identify that type of activity on a traffic stop. On the investigative side of things, if we get a report from a concerned citizen that calls into the hotline or something like that, we follow up on those tips and just try to be eyes for the community.
Harper, chair of Grand Island Area Coalition on Trafficking, also invited Mid-Plains, which is a behavioral health care services in Grand Island.
I have done direct care services with individuals, and several times I have worked with individuals that shared with me that they had experienced trafficking.
We offer a variety of services. Ultimately, we want to provide the best possible resources for a person, says Brittany Loth of Mid-Plains Healthcare Behavioral Services.
I've seen the changes that are happening in Grand Island and concerned that those needs are going to continue to increase. And it's also just amazing to see that the progress people can make when they do have the right supports and resources available to them.
And an example of that is Bree Crow, housing navigator for Hope Harbor.
4 years ago, I was a recipient of services. It was through a community support agency. I was trying to get clean. I had substance use and complex trauma.
Crow says with those resources provided in faith, she's 4 years clean.
I'm able to see people for where they're at, provide empathy and support, and having a safe home is super important to me. And so helping other people get into a safe home, it just full circle for me. To have eyes to see, we have to be willing to see. We have to open our eyes to see clearly those who are desperately dying, needing to be seen, and that's how we'll make a difference.
The next meeting is Monday, September 8th at 11:30 a.m. Reporting in Grand Island, Jartavius Edmond, Local 4 News.